Hello all, this is Anupama Zawagi here and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we are on a journey from where we are to where we want to be. Today, the book that I'm going to share with you all, my takeaways from the book that I'm going to share with you all is this one, Slim by Design. It's by a leading behavioral economist and a food psychologist, Brian Wansink. And he is using cutting edge research from his food and brand lab at Cornell University. He has given us a radical new way of looking at weight loss and how you can reduce your weight by not using the usual methods. Because what is the thing that we do most when we think that we have gained weight? We go on some kind of a diet. But he says that his research shows that 75% of people they quit their diets within a month. 39% of people they don't even last 1 week. Because what happens when we are dieting, we are using too much of our willpower. So, is there an easy way to actually reverse weight gain? And so that's why he says that the easiest and quickest and the most natural way to lose weight is by using by taking the help of our human nature and not by working against it, not by using our willpower all the time, because that's willpower is something we have if we keep using it we tend to quit faster. So that's why he has come up with a new way, and that way is redesigning our environment itself. So we are not going to eat like opposite of mindless eating is not mindful eating. But he actually says if we change the environment, we'll still eat mindlessly, but we'll eat healthy. Okay, so he's talked about all the areas where we consume food, but it's your home, office, your grocery store where you buy the groceries, or restaurants which you go to often, or in some cases where schools where food is served in the cafeteria. But I'm going to talk about home right now, because most of the time we are all at home right now. The kids are also at home, so I think our access to food has increased a lot. So it's the first thing is, let's start with the kitchen. So he says the inside in stomach, so whatever we see first we tend to eat that first. So that's why he suggests eating keeping all the healthy foods that we want to consume at the on the front end of shelves, or at right where we can see it on eye level. Same high with the refrigerators also, and you need to keep those all the healthy things in transparent containers, and the foods that you don't want to have in opaque containers in the fridge and also in your pantry. Sometimes he says that even shifting your pantry out of your kitchen also helps. Another thing is, the more time we spend in our kitchens, the more we tend to eat. So that's why he says, make your kitchen less loungeable. If you have your TV in the kitchen, or you have those high-rise chairs, the more time you are spending, the more you are eating in the kitchen. Another very helpful tip, especially for women, is keep the kitchen counters clean. If we have cookies and chips and stuff, or cereal boxes on the counters, we tend to eat a lot more of those. And his research shows that such women who have all these things lying on their counters, they actually weigh heavier than the women who don't have these who have like clean counters. So that's also a very easy trick for women to have. And nowadays, all the cereals they keep writing with more vitamins, more healthy stuff, more fiber. So our brain is tricked into thinking that is okay to eat. So we consume a lot more of that stuff. So that's one thing, keep all the things that you want to eat in front, and make the things that you don't want to eat, or you want to eat less of, inconvenient to get. So if it's like really at the back, on the back shelf somewhere, you're less likely to actually go and get it. So that's one way of tricking ourselves into eating more healthy stuff. And sometimes we think that empty kitchens make then we'll just empty our kitchens, but actually empty kitchens also make us fat. So sometimes if you don't have anything to eat, you tend to order food, and they have those minimum orders that you need to place, so you order more and more food. So for those mid snacks and stuff like that, if you're not cooking at home, you at least need to have some kind of protein snacks in your refrigerator or your pantry, so that you can eat them in the middle. Otherwise you don't order like small snacks snacks from the restaurants, right? You order big meals, so you tend to eat more. So just keeping your kitchen empty is not a solution. Keeping it stocked with some healthy food is the solution. The second thing that he talks about is actually how you set your table and stuff like that. So the more he says, for foods like rice and pasta, but his research shows that if you eat those things on a white plate, then you are more likely to eat more as compared to if you serve them on a darker plate. So, use contrast plates to serve the food that you want to eat, so that you will be automatically eating less, because visually you can see how much you are eating. The same works for even glasses. The bigger the glass, the more you tend to serve, juice and stuff like that. So for water, you need to take bigger glasses, and for all your juices and stuff, you need to use smaller glasses. Same with the serving spoons, serving bowls. That the bigger the size of the serving bowl, you think it is okay to serve more. Your brain thinks that it is okay to serve more. So the same quantity, if you put in a smaller bowl, you will actually serve yourself less food. Another good trick that I liked was, keeping all the food on the kitchen counter or the counter itself, and not bringing everything on the dining table. So every time, you serve yourself once and keep the rest of the food back on the counter or the stove. So what happens is, every time you need a second serving, you actually take a pause and think, are you that hungry or not? So most of the time, when you have to walk that 6 feet to actually get another serving, you realize that you are full, you don't need that. So the food that you want to eat more, like salads and stuff, you can keep on the table, but the rest of the things like dessert and all, keep it away. Another thing is, even if you just cover the food, you are less likely to take more servings of that food. So that's what they did in a research. They actually took a bowl with Hershey's Kisses in them, and they covered it, put a lid on it. Then they realized that people actually consumed 1/3 less when there was actually a lid on it. So you can actually at least cover the food that you put on the dining table. So pay attention to the serving bowl, serving spoons, and also on the size of the plate. So if you take a 12-inch plate, you tend to serve yourself more food than if you take a 10-inch plate. So just reducing that size will actually help you consume less calories. Another thing that is very important right now is snacking. Most of the times our diets go haywire because of all our snacking. And when do we snack? A lot of times, you're doing something with one hand and you are snacking with the other hand. It's like either you're watching TV or surfing the net. And what are the foods that you snack on? It's always, chips and some kind of junk food. So tricks to avoid this kind of snacking is, either you take get those foods in a small bowl instead of getting that whole container. Big bucket of popcorn, you can finish it in a few minutes, because your attention is absolutely not on eating. You are just focusing on either watching TV. And a lot of times when watching your TV, you eat because of habit, not because of hunger. Every day for your favorite show, you sit with some kind of a junk food bag, and then you watch the show, and all your attention is on watching and not on eating. So you tend to eat more. You actually also pace yourself according to the pace of the show. So a trick for this is, if you keep take it out in a small bowl and keep the rest in either your refrigerator or your counter or your cupboard, then you're less likely to actually get up during that show and go and get the second filling. So that's one way of reducing your snacking. Another thing is, keep some healthy snacks handy, like carrot sticks and stuff like that, which you can eat with one hand. One more thing is, you can actually keep a jar of water next to where you sit and watch TV, because a lot of times we are thirsty, but we think of it as hunger and not a thirst. So that also helps. Another way is, if you make some rules for yourself. It's like, if you make a rule that you're only going to sit on the dining table and eat that junk food, that food, maybe it's a cookie or something like that, without any distraction. You're not going to do anything, just sit on the table and eat. You're very less likely to eat that, because a lot of times it's very boring to sit and eat that chips or popcorn or whatever it is without any distraction. So the best part is, when you get distracted, is the time you eat. We see kids taking all those things to their rooms and watching, playing video games and eating, where all their attention is on the game, not on the food. So we tend to overeat that way. So if there's a family rule like that we are all going to eat only on the dining table, that will help a lot. Another thing you can do is, you tell yourself that before I eat this, before you indulge in eating some favorite food that you should not be eating more of, you actually are going to eat something like a fruit. So just finding the fruit, washing the fruit, cutting the fruit and eating it will actually take that mood away, that you won't follow it up with some junk food, and it will be filling also. If you eat fruit, you're less likely to eat that than the food that follows more. So that is another way of doing it. Or sometimes, what their research shows is, we don't know how much will actually satisfy us, and we keep eating that. So they did an experiment with chocolate. So they just give some people 2-3 bites of a chocolate, and then for the next 15 minutes they told them to do something else, just either talk to someone or do some other chore and stuff like that. And then after 15 minutes they asked whether they wanted to eat more chocolate. So they realized that most people, they remember that they had eaten something nice and full, satisfying, and something that they loved, but they didn't want to eat more. So a lot of times, just a little bit is sufficient if we eat it and then distract ourselves later on. So that's another great tip that we can try out, to eat less of what we generally eat, like junk food. So these are some of the common tips, very easy to do. So definitely worth trying. It's not like we are going on some kind of a diet, just rearranging things in our homes so that we automatically eat less. Because sometimes what happens is, most people think that now that I know I'm going to, I can do it, I don't need to actually implement these changes. But we run so much on autopilot that before realizing that what we are doing, we actually tend to go back to our usual patterns of behavior. So if you say, no, I'm going to serve myself less, it doesn't work. You have a stressful day, you automatically start serving yourselves the old way. So the better way is, if you reduce the serving spoon size, that will automatically, you don't have to think about what you're doing. Things will happen automatically. So these are some of the things that you can do around the house, very easy to do. You don't have to spend anything for it. Another thing, tip would be, which I really liked, which I wanted to share, is they did an experiment with 2 groups. They divided a group of people into 2 groups. The first one, they made them take a walk, and they called that walk exercise. And for the second group, what they told them was, they were going to take a scenic walk, just watch everything around them. Both the groups walked at the same pace and took the same number of steps. But then they realized that at lunch, after this part, when they all had lunch, the people who were told that they had exercised actually had more of dessert than the people who were told that they took a scenic walk. So this shows that every time we tell ourselves that we have exercised, we think that it is okay to eat more of the foods that we shouldn't be eating. So a great tip would be that even though you exercise, you tell yourself that it was just a walk, or you did some stretching or toning or something like that, and not call it exercise. If it's automatically will help you eat less. So that's something I thought was very interesting. Definitely worth trying. So these are some of the things that I learned from this book. That it has a lot more stuff. You can actually go and get the book and read it. But I just got you started on this journey. So let's see. I'm also trying a lot of this stuff. So let me know what you think, and have you implemented anything that I shared just now in the comment section. So see you next time, and with a different topic. Thank you.